Jesus, today. Have you ever noticed that different jobs have a different hat? So for example, chefs have a very different hat to people who work in construction or mining. We can actually use the hat as a symbol of what kind of work you're doing. You may have come across a concept known as thinking hats in schools, where you have a different hat, almost like a lens on how you would think about a topic or a subject. So you might try and think of things from a critical point of view or a creative point of view or a social point of view, for example, a different thinking hat. So here's a tip. When you come to science, make sure you're wearing the right thinking hat. So in science, we want you to explain how things work, how the natural world has formed, or how it functions the way it does. This is done through explaining, calculating, predicting, and then if we don't know, we design experiments to try and find out more. The trouble is that some subjects overlap with science, and it can be a little confusing as to what you're supposed to do in these two or more other subjects. So here's an example. In biology, we learn about the digestive system. However, nutrition and diet is also a topic studied in health and physical education, or phys ed, or sport class. And so there's a bit of overlap. In biology, we want to study things like how is the food digested? How is it broken down? What kinds of foods? Where does that occur? And what's the physiology of our body that helps us break these things down? In contrast, in HPE, you're probably more likely to be interested in focusing on things like how to be healthy and maintain your body. This could be things like balanced diets, or what food groups, or nutrition plates. So the danger of mixing up these two ways of thinking, or thinking hats, is that you might write too much about what is good for you and not enough about why it's good for you or how it's good for you. Another area of overlap is geography versus geology. Geography tends to have more social implications, looking at the relationships between the landscape and the people who live in it. Geology is more about the earth itself and how it formed. Erosion, earthquakes, rock types, properties. Granted, there'll be occasions where the two subjects will overlap, but they will for different reasons. So both subjects will actually study the water cycle, but geography will tend to view it in terms of, poverty and agriculture and transportation. But geology, you would view it as the way the water cycle erodes existing rocks and forms new ones through sedimentation. So the main goal in science is to explain the natural world. We tend to think about questions such as, why are some rocks more brittle than other ones? How come we get marine fossils on top of mountaintops that are far away from the ocean? Why is it so darn hot inside of your car on a summer's day? And what makes bulletproof glass so much stronger than regular glass? In science, we want to know how well and how detailed you can be with your explanations to show us the depth of your understanding. We want you to apply the basics, the scientific concepts that we studied in class. Often the difference between a good and a bad grade in science can be the difference of writing more than just half a sentence or acknowledging the nuances that are relevant in that context. For example, you could use your basic scientific concept of tectonic plates to explain how the marine fossils got on top of the mountaintop. As the tectonic plates crash into one another, colliding, they force one of the sea floors up through the surface above the water and forming our mountaintops, carrying with it the fossils that we find there now. So in summary, make sure that you're wearing the right thinking hat when you come to science class. Make sure you focus on explain the natural world around us, how it formed, how it works. And please, 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 write more than just half a sentence when we have an exam paper for you. That's all. I'll see you in the next video.